Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Hello. Today we have the hot topic that you guys all requested. This is the live session, what I call rapid fire Q&A, and it's all about hormones. And this stemmed from last week's discussion around fatigue and training around fatigue. So without further ado, we're going to dig deep. We're going to be diving into all about hormones. Here we go, everybody. Hey everyone, welcome. I'm Maggie UMD, and I am a functional and holistic medicine physician. I'm an actively practicing physician for the past 27 plus years. Yes, I am dating myself yet again. And today we're going to be, I actively work with people on root cause medicine. So for the first 10 years of my career, I was a family medicine physician until I came down with all sorts of hormonal issues, autoimmune issues, and POTS. And so that started my journey for the next 16 years, 17 years of my career as a root cause functional medicine physician. And I solve really impossible to solve medical problems working with people all around the world. And I love specializing in areas like hormone imbalances, autoimmune issues, POTS, dysautonomia, long haul, mystery symptoms, chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, you name it. And today we're going to be focusing on supplements, trainings and education around natural supplements and remedies that work for hormone imbalances. And this really stemmed from last week's live. I would love for all of you guys that are jumping in and watching right now, tell me where you're watching from. And if you're an alumni that have worked with me in any of our programs, whether it's a hormone program, our food mapping program, or our main transform program, type in chat. I would love to see who's going to give me a holler and say hello. I love talking with you. I don't like talking at you. So this is going to be a Q&A, by the way. So what that means is you guys have already loaded me up with some hot button questions around hormones and how to solve some hormone problems that I'm going to be already queued up to answer. This is why I'm wearing glasses today. I got to be able to read these questions. What I would like to do is start throwing into the comments section some of your biggest questions around hormones. And some of your questions around supplementation, because I'm here to deliver. I have been in practice 27 years, and I am trained not only on the medicine and medical side of this, I have been trained on the supplement side of this, the lifestyle and nutrition side of this, on how to solve seemingly impossible to solve hormone problems, which are not that impossible to solve at all. And yes, of course, I work with people in programs and with us online, virtually around the world, where I measure people's hormones, reveal the underlying hidden patterns, and show people exactly how to solve it in them as well. So, but today we're going to be talking supplements. Last week, we talked about hello, main transform. Renee, it's been so long. Good to see you. Oh gosh, thank you. All the alumni are coming in. Joy, good to see you. Oh my gosh. You look different. You look like a different person, Joy. Oh my gosh. All right, everybody. Paula, welcome, welcome. All right. So first thing first, last week, I did a live around supplementation for fatigue. What are my 3 musts, right? And as I was talking about the 3 foundational supplements that I would not want to miss in dealing with fatigue, I actually started to talk about how each of them were the exact same things that were really critical for someone balancing hormones. And all these hormone questions started to bounce in relation to supplements. And I said, why don't we do a whole separate live around this? And that's why we're doing this today. So that being said, while you guys are queuing up the questions, I'm going to tell you about anybody with any hormone problems. It doesn't matter whether you're young, you're older, you're going through menopause, male, female, okay? No matter whether you're taking supplements, you're taking hormones or not. There are 3 foundational things for balancing hormones that nobody has thought about, okay, that I want to educate you on. These are my 3 musts. No matter what, these are the 3 musts. And it relates to what I talked about last week when it comes to fatigue. And these are these 3 exact supplements. And when I was talking about why Boost Me, number 1 was the supplement that, if we can make that smaller, that'd be great. Perfect. Thank you. I was like, I got really tiny all of a sudden. So Boost Me. So these are 3 supplements that I call my 1, 2, 3 punch. Boost Me is 2 in the morning, and it is a methylated B vitamin complex. And I'm going to talk about why methylated B vitamin complex is the missing link. Now, why these supplements? Number one, it's really important when you're looking at supplements critically to think about a couple things. Most supplements on the market are formulated by marketers. They're not formulated by a medical doctor. Really importantly, number one, I have 27 years of experience working with all sorts of hormone imbalances. So I know they're tried and true, and they're based on thousands of hormone testing, data, results, outcomes that I've seen. So evidence-based, science-based, doctor curated. It's really important. A couple things like that's really important. The other thing is the number and the kind of ingredients that are in products. I need you to think about, okay? Supplements are not regulated by the FDA. And therefore, when you're allotted supplements, what you see on the label isn't what you get. And even what you see on the label isn't even the best form or the active form of that ingredient in the right therapeutic amount. So I've had to think about all of that. And that's why when you're talking something, for example, Boost Me, we're talking about a methylated B vitamin complex. Every single B vitamin in there is really mission critical in the right form and in the right amount in therapeutic doses designed for what? Last week, I talked about how these B vitamins are critical in mitochondrial disorders. That means mitochondria is the power plant of every single cell, including your hormone making cells, including all the liver and gut cells that also break down hormones. So imagine every cell that makes hormones or break down hormones requires energy. So they require your mitochondria to work. So Boost Me 2 in the morning is mission critical. My preference for how you take Boost Me is with a meal. Okay. And that brings me to the second product in the middle, which is Digestive. Okay. People don't realize how much digestion has to do with hormone balancing. So hormones have to be made, but they also have to be broken down and go out the body. And that requires your digestive tract, your liver and your digestion tract. So really importantly, no one thinks my digestion sucks and that's why my hormones sucketh. Okay. I'm going to tell you that right now. Okay. Your digestion sucks, and that's why your hormones sucketh. So how do you take Digestive? 1 with small meals, 2 with big meals. And if you first start with just 1 with each main meal, you're going to already start to notice some benefits, okay? But that is my number 2 foundational supplement for balancing hormones. And by the way, if you're not pooping every day, you can't possibly balance your hormones, okay? Because they just recycle. We'll talk more about that later because some of these questions are going to pertain to that. So being a lot of diarrhea or constipation is a sign that your digestion's off. So supporting your digestion is mission critical. And in order to balance hormones, you have to poop every day. And so you have to have proper digestion every day. So Digested is right there in the center. And then finally, at the end of the day is Restore Me 2 in the evening, whether that's with your dinner or evening snack. Lots of questions around sleep, bedtime issues, hot flashes, things like that. And Restore Me is really mission critical. I explained how, and I'm going to talk about this week, magnesium, particularly. Did you know there are many, many different types and forms of magnesium? So did you know there's a specific formulation of magnesium that's really critical to actually help with what we call enzymatic processes? That means all these different enzymes in your body that make hormones, break down hormones, make energy, they are enzymes, and they require an active magnesium molecule for that reaction to even happen. And with all these different types of magnesium, people can get extremely confused. Doctors have no idea that there are all these different types of magnesium and what their different absorbability and function really is. The magnesium blend that is in Restore Me is designed specifically to cross the gut-blood barrier so that it's absorbed. Do you know 95% of the magnesium on the market are designed for constipation? So they're designed not to absorb in your gut. So that particular type of magnesium doesn't get into your body, doesn't help your hormones, doesn't help the enzymes in your body, doesn't help with energy making, doesn't help with sleep. So Restore Me is designed specifically with a magnesium blend that's for absorbability, going into the tissue, the muscle, going to the bloodstream to actually populate your whole body to allow all the hormones to be made and all the hormones to be broken down. And that's 2 at night. So these are the 3 must foundation to actually be like, hey, you got to cover your bases in order for you to actually have the energy to make and break down hormones. 1, 2, 3, Boost Me, Digest It, and Restore Me. Now, some people have looked at this and you can get them together as a bundle. Someone asked me the other day if I have trouble swallowing capsules and I really want to try the Digested, can I have another option? This was from last week. And yes, there's Digested in the store, also comes as a Digested chewable. And that's also one with small meals and two with big meals. So, here's the thing. I have worked for, 27 years now, and I've worked with a lot of people that have a lot of histamine, mast cell, tolerability issues with supplements. And so for me, I have to really think through what is the minimal amount of key ingredients in therapeutic amounts that's going to give people a result. Using Digested as an example, or I'll even I'll use Digested as an example. When I think about all the different steps that can be broken in digestion, for example, um, you can start thinking about, oh, I want to buy a digestion product that's going to fix all of this. Sure, they're out there, but they contain at least 40 to 50 ingredients. And as a result, the ability of people to tolerate them goes down. So what I found when I used to use these other digestive supports was they either had too few ingredients or too many ingredients. And the too many ingredients side, people started to react a lot to it. So I had to really think in every single supplement blend we have is what is the minimal amount of ingredients sourced, right, properly, high purity, scientifically proven, third-party tested. What it says on the label is what you get. That's going to work together in therapeutic doses. So Digested has the smallest number of ingredients and it works so well for every step of digestion. And so that philosophy goes through with every single hormone supplement that is in our supplement store, and that's also in my recommendations as well. I take it into consideration that a lot of people I work with have supplement or medication tolerability problems and also a lot of histamine problems. So I hope that explains to you some of the things that I think about when I'm looking at supplements. Now, what I want to do is, oh my gosh, all these people that are here, I can't wait. Okay. Tara Sheets had a really good question. Tara, great to see you. One of my patients from clinic, this is like 20 years ago. Does Boost Me help in possibly replacing ADD medication? Well, it's really an interesting question. And I'm just going to say, I know we're not talking about ADD and we're talking hormones today, but I'm going to tell you ADD and hormones are actually really linked. And there are so many adult women and men that are diagnosed with ADD that actually have hormone problems. So one of the bottom line of this question, though, is could Boost Me, meaning could a mitochondrial disorder, which means low energy making, be responsible for symptoms related with ADD? This is all a follow-up from last week, I would say, live. And I can tell you from experience, and there's a lot of people I work with here and that have worked with me in programs where we've identified that they actually have a mitochondrial problem, an energy making problem, and that's number one cause of their brain fog. And one of the most important ways to actually know if that's the case is to actually take 2 Boost Me in the morning, but also do the Digested and Restore Me. The reason the Digested is really critically important is you can't absorb the Boost Me or most B vitamins if you have a digestion problem. So this is why I'm telling you it's like the 1, 2, 3 punch. So what I would do is take the Boost Me 2 in the morning with breakfast with the Digested. And that's like one of the most easiest foolproof way to get those methylated B vitamins into you and to start to notice if it makes a difference. If a mitochondria disorder, which is an energy making disorder, is the underlying factor here, after about 2 to 3 weeks of being on Boost Me and drinking adequate amount of water and other nutritional things and lifestyle things that you're doing, Boost Me plus Digested can actually show a difference in the amount of brain fog you have and the ability to focus. So I myself was diagnosed with adult onset ADHD, which I really don't have. And what I discovered in myself was it was actually a specific hormone pattern, an adrenal pattern that was causing this problem, which I later discovered. And I took ADHD medication. I took Concerta for about 10 years, which I didn't need. And so what happened is when I figured out what the hormone problem was, and I started to take Boost Me and dealt with digestion with Digested, that's what stopped my ADHD medication for myself. So I hope that's helpful. All right. We're going to talk about, and Samantha's like, I didn't know, I would love to get off my ADD medication. Yeah. And the really important thing about thinking about having ADD and ADD medication is why is it happening? That's the whole point I'm saying is big part of it is hormonal. And a big part of it is related with poor digestion and poor absorption of some of these B vitamins, methylated B vitamins that helps you make energy to focus. I hope that was helpful. And then the Restore Me at Night, which is the magnesium. Magnesium is really important for focus in the brain. So that's why I'm saying don't forget the Restore Me 2 at night as well. So that's why I call it the 1, 2, 3. Now let's go for some hormone questions. And I have Ruth's question here that was pre-submitted. And all of you guys keep popping with questions here. I'm just answering some of the questions people pre-submitted. Ruth says, I'm so tired all day, but can't sleep at night. As soon as I get into bed, my mind starts racing. How many people are noticing this? She's 42. Is this a menopause thing? I would love all my perimenopausal ladies to actually answer this question. Is it a menopause thing to start having all these sleep problems? And the answer is yes, yes, and heck yes. Okay. Now, it's not just a woman thing. Can men get insomnia that's linked to hormonal changes? And the answer is yes. Okay. Now, this is about supplementation. If I was looking at this, what would I be thinking about? I would be thinking about with insomnia, age 42, she's already, I would say, start looking at what are some of the other symptoms she's having relating with perimenopause. Could her periods be more infrequent or irregular? Is she starting to gain weight? I start thinking about what are all the things that would make me think, wow, I might need something I might need some herbs to actually help with balancing some of my hormones at night. Think about this. So if someone can't sleep at night, a lot of this has to do with what I call our adrenal hormones. Adrenal hormones typically are not actually addressed by your regular medical doctors. They don't know anything about adrenals or adrenal fatigue or what stages of adrenal fatigue can cause insomnia at night. So it really importantly, when I think about this, frequently what we see is what I call a reverse cortisol pattern. So that means that some of these adrenal hormones are super high at night when they say they should be super low. So the supplementation I would recommend right here would be a product called Adapt Me. Adapt Me has actually adaptogenic herbs that are designed to help the adrenals calm at night when they should calm. So Adapt Me has adaptogens that help calm adrenals at night when they should be resting and sleeping. So that's 2 at night with the Adapt Me. Now, the other thing that causes insomnia at night is also related to some of the changes in estrogen and progesterone. Okay. So unfortunately, or when menopause starts to happen, the hormone that falls down the earliest and fastest is progesterone. Okay. And really rapidly dropping progesterone actually is one of the major causes of insomnia. It's also this rapidly dropping progesterone in certain times in someone's menstrual cycle that causes them to have PMS, for example, or irritability or anxiety. So this sudden change in progesterone or rapid, that's monthly for PMS, or that's towards the perimenopausal period, anywhere from like 36 to 56, to be honest, is a big problem. So without even measuring anything, I already know that that's happening for every perimenopausal woman. So what can you do to really support progesterone production and how it works with some of the other hormones? Love Me is a supplement that's in the store. And Love Me contains exactly the herbs and the herbs balance that's needed to actually help progesterone start to produce more and for it to help balance that estrogen out. This pendulum has swung like all the way. When your progesterone drops really fast, this estrogen pops up really quickly. So Love Me is designed to actually swing that pendulum around. And Love Me would be 2 a day, and you can take it anytime. So really good combination would be Love Me and then the Adapt Me, and both of them. Adapt Me definitely 2 at night, and I would do the Love Me. You can do that anytime. Now, I do want to bring up something else because someone mentioned blood sugar in chat. And Rosemary already said, I love that supplement that helped me sleep. I know these things work. These things work. Okay. This is why I'm sharing this. There is another thing to think about. A lot of people think insomnia, and there were a lot of questions here about hot flashes. Let me see if someone could bring up one of the questions about hot flashes. This ties in with this insomnia question. So people are talking about how I have really horrible hot flashes at night. And a lot of people say hormones, hormones, hormones. Yes. And definitely like Adapt Me and Love Me is going to help with that. But do you know, and everybody who's worked with me on hormones could answer in chat, Yes, it is related to hormones, but there's a second problem that's right underneath the hormones that's tied in with hormones that causes the most insomnia and hot flashes. If anyone that I've worked with know what the answer is, type it in chat. I can already tell you right now, the answer is blood sugar problems. Okay. Blood sugar problems really come up when we go through periods of time when our progesterone really drops. So, perimenopausal women or menopausal or postmenopausal women can really have a lot of problems because of that changing progesterone. Men can also have changing progesterone that can cause all these blood sugar issues, right? Someone just said, Denise said, I've tried sage and red clover for hot flashes, but it didn't help. Yep, because there are better herbs for that. I would rather not do HRT. Is there an alternative? And a lot of people are going to think right here, like, I got hot flashes, I need to take hormones. No, actually, believe it or not, most often when someone has hot flashes going to see the doctor, they get put on estrogen. If they and that is the absolute worst thing that you can do, because typically that's not even the problem. It's actually too much estrogen that's the problem. So when I'm going to be talking about some of these supplements help certain hormones make more, and some of these supplements really help some of these hormones break down faster. So really importantly, we were talking back to blood sugar, is that a lot of the reasons why people have hot flashes or insomnia, or they wake up in the middle of the night, is because these changing hormones have unmasked what I call blood sugar instability. So what's happening is in the middle of the night, they're really dipping into some really low blood sugars. So then they wake up with like palpitations, insomnia, hot flashes, you name it. And so how would I address that? Well, you should eat a snack right before bed, right? And some people don't like to eat a snack before bed. Well, if you don't, here's another option, right? So there's in our store a product called Golden Balance. That's one of our best selling products. And it is a golden milk that has medicinal doses of curcumin, and it has protein in there in the form of collagen in there. And so there's some protein in it, but there's also herbs that actually help you stabilize your blood sugar throughout the night. So Golden Balance, I make that at night. I do half and half of the coconut milk and coconut cream, and I just blend it right up. I love it, nice and warm. Cindy, who went through our program, calls it a hug in a mug. So the Golden Balance at night is excellent. The other thing that you could put in it or take separately is a blood sugar balancing product called Relax Me. So Relax Me, 1 scoop with any beverage, or you can even add it to the Golden Balance, just as the chef's kiss. If blood sugar is really the problem, Golden Balance is your snack and your herbs, and you throw a scoop of Relax Me in there, and that's like chef's kiss right there for blood sugar. So it really helps with the hot flashes. It helps with the falling and staying asleep, which is really mission critical. So blood sugar has a lot to do with these symptoms. I hope that was that was easy to understand. The other aspect of this is anytime I'm going to recommend something that you're going to drink and you're going to eat, it better taste good. Catherine mentioned Golden Balance is so good. It really is. That's why it's called Hug in a Mug, right? We have, let's see, Susan Lopez has a question from YouTube. Thank you, Susan. I get progesterone in my Mirena IUD. Yeah. Can I still take Love Me? Yes. Yes. And heck yes. So Susan, the progesterone that's in the Mirena IUD is a synthetic fake progesterone. So it doesn't have all those benefits we're talking about with natural progesterone at all. But the other thing is it's designed to be locally in the uterus in there to have a local impact. So it's a contraception. So it has a local impact on the local area around the uterus. What that means is throughout your body, you're still not getting any natural progesterone. Okay. So Love Me is perfect actually for someone perimenopausal if you have a Mirena, or even if you don't. It's actually good for everybody. Love Me is also one of the most common supplements I actually recommend with some of the men that we work with, because some of the men we work with have low progesterone problems and too much estrogen as well. This is a very common pattern for someone going through perimenopause, and for men in their 40s and 50s with a lot of hormonal symptoms as well. Okay, hope that was helpful. We got some starred questions coming in. Oh gosh, Angela just said, I'm allergic to everything since about 10 years ago. So this highlights the point I was making. Angela, thank you for this comment. I'm allergic to everything since about 10 years ago. This is all the histamine issues that are coming up for people with autoimmune, for people with POTS, for people since COVID. This is not a little deal, it's a big deal. Okay. So I've done a ton of videos around histamines. And it's linked to digestion and hormones. So if you want to check out, look for those trainings in YouTube, they're there. Now, she mentions having autoimmunity. See, that's a connection right there. I didn't even see that yet. So having autoimmune issues and having a lot of histamine allergy issues are really common. They go hand in hand. That's why we work on not just hormones when we work with people with autoimmune. We work on identifying what these food allergens are, and really importantly on digestion. Proper digestion breaks down allergens, really important. So she says she has Sjogren's and she has a complex cyst on her thyroid. Hormone problems. Cysts on the thyroid are not just hey, they're not a big deal. Cysts on the thyroid is a sign there's an autoimmune attack against the thyroid. So I'm going to tell you, Angela, is go check out our thyroid support in the store. We actually have 3 key products for thyroid that are mission critical. Anybody with thyroid, anything, okay? Number 1, on the thyroid collection, get the Thyroid Protect. It's a cream. Put it on your thyroid, just a pea size, twice a day. I have it right here. This is how I remember to take it because you guys know I have Hashimoto's. So you just take a little bit, like pea size, and put it right over your thyroid, which is right here, okay? That protects your thyroid, right? Cysts are a sign that your thyroid's under autoimmune attack, which puts it at super high risk for thyroid cancer. The other thing is our vitamin A Pro. One of those a day is 10,000 IUs a day. It helps your thyroid work so much better. And then the third product in the thyroid collection that I think is really important is Selenium Pro. 2 of those a day. It's like an armor shield around your thyroid. Those are my 1, 2, 3 punch when it comes to thyroid. And then back to the allergy and sensitivity question. I am very attuned to people saying that they want the minimal number of ingredients at high therapeutic doses that work together, right? So that's really critical. There's just too much junk in a lot of these supplements, fillers, or ingredients that are low quality or that are unnecessary. There we go. I see a question here from Itrissa. How do you know when hormones are balanced and how to keep them that way? That's a wonderful question. And that's what people work with me on their hormones. So we have a program called My Hormone Solutions, where I work with people around the world where we measure hormones. We identify exactly what the patterns are, and we exactly train you on what are the supplementation, nutritional, and sometimes hormones that some people do need or not need, right? All of these solutions are needed. But how do you know when your hormones are balanced? Is you feel good. You feel good. When you can sleep through the night, when you no longer have fatigue, right? When the brain fog is gone, when your libido is back, your hormones are balanced. Okay? So that's how you know. And then how do you keep them that way? Looking at some of these underlying root causes. So digestion, for example, that I talked about, food sensitivities, nutrition, blood sugar, some of these things that we're talking about. Now, this is a good question. Samantha Fitzgerald has a question. What's the best way to excrete extra hormones? So I brought up this thing where I said, and I want you guys to think about this. If you are not pooping every day, there is no way in hell your hormones are balanced. Okay? And I'm just going to describe something here, which is that your hormones are made, but then they have to be broken down by your liver and by your gut bacteria. There's 2 phases. Liver breaks down the first phase, and then the bacteria in your gut breaks it down the second phase of hormone breakdown, and then you poop it out. Now, if you don't poop out every day, your body reabsorbs the water from the stool, and the hormones go right back into your body, recycling these hormone breakdown products that are toxic. So I see this all the time, and we see it in the program when we actually measure people's hormones. Most people think I have a hormone problem, I need to take hormones. And most people don't realize that 60 to 70% of the people that we work with these hormone symptoms have hormones that are too high, that aren't being broken down or excreted. Okay. This is why digestion is so critical. And I say you got to start with digestion, right? Number 1. But number 2 is, what's the best way to get rid of these hormones is we help the liver, phase 1, break down hormones, and we help the bacteria in the large intestine in phase 2 to break down the hormones while we're addressing the digestion so you can poop every day, right? So what helps phase 1 would be a product in our store called Defender. Okay. Defender is literally rocket fuel to help your liver break down hormones, whether it's too much estrogen, too much testosterone, too much any hormones. Okay. And it's particularly wonderful for people who know they have fatty liver. It is really liver loving and supportive. So, Defender 2 a day, super helpful if any of these hormones are high and you know you got too much hormones going on. I know someone, how do you know you need Defender? How do you know you have to excrete or break down more hormones? Well, anybody who's having a lot of weight, truncal weight gain, okay? If you have a lot of truncal weight gain, that's a huge sign of you holding on to hormones like estrogen and testosterone, okay? The other thing is if you have adult acne, right? If you have gestational diabetes, prediabetes, or you're diabetic, that's a very um, strong marker for someone who has a condition called PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. People with polycystic ovarian syndrome usually have elevated testosterone or they're very sensitive to it. And a lot of you may already know that. Anybody with PCOS has too many hormones. Okay. And so the best way, number one, is I have a 2-punch approach. Phase 1 is Defender, 2 of those a day. Phase 2 is helping the large intestinal bacteria break down the second step of hormone breakdown. And that's a product we call estrophase. So Defender and estrophase, 2 of each per day, will help phase 1 and phase 2 actually break down hormones. And it's like rocket fuel getting hormones out of your body. Was that helpful? Like, this is for anybody who has that excess hormone issue, right? I hope that was really helpful. Wow. Okay. And then Valerie says, could low blood sugar at night in non-diabetic cause hormonal issues, anxiety? Boom, boom, boom. Yes, yes, and yes. So specifically for anxiety at night, how many people here never had anxiety before, but suddenly noticed that with certain times of the month, or you're suddenly between that 36 to 56 and boom, it's almost overnight, you have anxiety, and it seems to peak at night, right? And absolutely, it can have a lot to do with low blood sugar as well as low progesterone at night. Just want you to know. And just so you know, when we have progesterone problems, we have we have blood sugar issues, and we also have low B vitamins, okay? That contributes to a situation where you also don't make much melatonin. Okay, so we tie back to why, Boost Me is really helpful with those B vitamins to make melatonin. It's important to make hormones like melatonin. Now, she mentioned specifically anxiety, and I'm going to give you my secret, I would say 3-punch formula for anxiety, especially at night. Okay, so really, I think really in the store is a product called Mood Boost. Is it Mood Boost? Did I mess that up? Is it Mood Boost? It is. It was in there. Okay, yeah. It's called Mood Boost. Um, and um, what it has in there is 5-HTP. It has also the B vitamins that are important for serotonin to be made and for serotonin to also turn into melatonin. And Mood Boost is a wonderful formula to take 2 every single night to help the anxiety. And it doesn't have to be at night, but especially for people who have anxiety at night, taking it at night is super helpful. But anybody with anxiety or depression, Mood Boost is a wonderful mood balancing formula that you can take. Men, women, anybody like 10 and over can take 2 every single day. Now, the other thing that's really helpful for that anxiety at night is the Adapt Me. Actually, no, I'm going to go with MyZen. There's a product in the store called MyZen, and MyZen is a specific product that's helpful for adrenals, but it has to do with calming down what we call the adrenal catecholamines. So adrenals make certain hormones, but it also makes something called catecholamines like adrenaline. So MyZen is actually designed for calming down adrenaline production in the middle of the night. So that creates a lot of heart palpitations and anxiety. So MyZen 2 at night will be really helpful along with the Mood Boost. And then I would do the Relax Me 1 scoop at night to help with the blood sugar. And don't forget a snack before bed, okay? People have seen me do my fat bomb recipe. I made it on YouTube online live. So if you want to look up Dr. Maggie U and fat bomb, We have that. We have that in there. I also probably have a fat bomb recipe. If you are looking for the fat bomb recipe, maybe I'll share it with you. Go ahead and put fat bomb recipe in chat. A snack at night would be super helpful for that. Let's see, right here, we have Angela asking a question. I feel like I have adrenal fatigue. What else can I do? Angela, everything that I talked about last week around fatigue would be incredible. So the 1, 2, 3 punch of this particular supplement bundle for fatigue and adrenal fatigue, I think is critical because those B vitamins are needed for the adrenals. Digestion support and the absorption of those Bs are critical. And then that magnesium at night, right? It's really also anchors it, right? But that being said, specifically, if someone says, I feel like I have adrenal fatigue, what else can I do? Absolutely. Like if you want to work with me, work with us on balancing and testing these hormones to figure out what the problem is, we have a hormone program that we can work with, and where we do that. That being said, from a supplementation standpoint, starting with the starter 3 products is really great for generally building that foundation. But 2 supplements I think would be really helpful to think about having to do with adrenals. There is a adrenal supplement in the morning called ProAdrenix. That's 2 in the morning. That helps with the morning curve of the adrenals in the morning, especially for people who are really feeling like sluggish and tired when they wake up. ProAdrenix is a really great start to that, along with the Boost Me, right? And that Boost Me just helps the ProAdrenix work even better. Adrenals and methylated B vitamins hand in hand. So ProAdrenix 2 in the morning is super helpful. And then at night is the Adapt Me, which helps the adrenals naturally calm down. So what we're doing with the ProAdrenix in the morning, 2 in the morning, is that helping the natural peak of adrenals. And then at night, you do the Adapt Me, which helps the cortisol calm down at night. So it's like a trainer. It's like a coach training that up, down. So those 2 products are really helpful. Along with the base 3 supplements that I talked about with the Boost Me, Digested, and the Restore Me. All right. Someone mentioned, Renee mentioned, can kids take this blood sugar issues package? Yes, they can. As long as they can swallow capsules, they can take the daily bundle, and then everything I mentioned for blood sugar, like the Golden Balance and the Relax Me, kids love that at night. I want you to know. So that's a great way to do that. The other thing, something I want to mention with this blood sugar thing is the importance of collagen. Okay. So there's a product in the store. It's called Pro Collagen WB. Okay. And collagen is something I think doesn't get talked about enough in people understanding that it is really helpful for the gut. It's a very highly absorbable protein. It's single ingredient. And our particular collagen has all the different types of collagen. That means it's helpful for many different things. Hair, skin, nails, sure. But the other part of this is it's a steady source of protein. So that's why our Golden Balance has some collagen in it, right? But for people who are thinking about blood sugar balancing, it's not just necessarily a night thing. It can be throughout the day. And if you don't always have time to eat, having some collagen, the Pro Collagen WB, putting it right in your morning coffee. Okay. Would that be helpful to help balance blood sugar first thing in the morning if you're not a breakfast eater? Heck yes. So I have people who do protein shakes in the morning will add the Pro Collagen WB in there. We also have a protein powder called Nourish Me. And Nourish Me is a protein powder that balances hormones and contain pea protein. So it contains the protein, it balances blood sugar and hormones. So if you're like, I want just a meal replacement to be able to work on blood sugar and hormones, Nourish Me as a meal replacement, tremendous. But if you want a single ingredient product, then Pro Collagen WB would be the way to go if you have a lot of allergies, sensitivities, or you want to just keep it simple and clean. Okay. So I hope that's helpful right there. Okay. Oh, okay. I have an acne question. I started noticing acne since going into menopause. Is this normal? Acne, anytime in women, we need to think about, and especially cystic acne. But if we have acne at an inappropriate age, adult acne in women, it is almost always a sign that we have what we call PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, or an excess of certain hormones like testosterone or estrogen. So when I think acne, I think PCOS. I think of these couple supplements, which would be the Defender 2 a day, along with the Estrophase, right? Those two helps phase one and phase two. So I think that's really helpful. The other part of this is PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. Anybody with that has a lot of blood sugar balancing issues. So everyone I work with in the program where we identify as PCOS, not only are they taking hormonal supplements, we're going to fast turbocharge that recovery from it by balancing blood sugar. So 1-2 punch for supplement for blood sugar balancing. It's called Balance Me 2 in the morning capsules, and then Relax Me 1 scoop at night. That's a really good blood sugar focus regime. If you're like, all I have to work on is blood sugar, do Balance Me 2 in the morning and Relax Me 1 scoop at night. I have Teresa says, should my body be reset in order to absorb supplement efficiently since I've had to take prescription drugs for my MS for over a year? Yeah, that's why I think that's such a good question, Latricia. Thank you for that. This is why for me, everybody I work with, no matter if it's autoimmune, POTS, mast cell, for example, or fibro, have lots of problems with absorbability, and they're very nutriently depleted. That's why the daily reset bundle for me addresses that a lot, because like you're saying, should you be on the reset to absorb? Well, that's why for me, not only are they highly absorbable and critical for a condition like MS or hormone imbalance, but that digestion in the middle, Latricia, is the winner chicken dinner right there. If you took your supplements with a meal, with digested, it is going to increase absorbability like tenfold. Okay. So don't just buy good supplements, right? Buy good supplements, but make sure you absorb them. That's why this digestion piece is really mission critical. So great question. Letitia says, can teens take Love Me because my daughter have really bad menstrual cramps, or shall I ask what can they take? Love Me is perfect for the teenagers. That's probably the best-selling supplement in the teenage category for us is Love Me. And the reason being is that it's really helpful because when young girls are starting to menstruate, their ovaries are really like inexperienced. And so they don't know what they're supposed to be doing with these hormones going up and down. So those first couple of years can be really brutal. And for some people, those hormone imbalances continue into adult life. So anybody who's having really bad menstrual cramps, you need to know that your hormones are not imbalanced. And one of the biggest pieces that's not balanced is the relationship between estrogen and progesterone. So Love Me is perfect for that. And it's 2 every single day. That's a great one to take. Now, it's not uncommon when looking at, I don't know Letitia, but like it's not uncommon for teenagers with bad menstrual cramps to also have other patterns of hormone imbalance like the PCOS. So you start to see a lot of cystic acne, weight gain, mood, skin changes, hair falling out, anxiety or depression, right? When you start seeing like in teenagers and adults starting to, that hormonal issues are starting to turn into those types of PCOS issues, that's the reason then you're going to be like, wow, I have PCOS. I need to add in some Defender 2 a day. I need to add in some Balance Me in the morning, right? So I start thinking about some of these symptoms and I start realizing like, oh, this is a pattern that would be like estrogen, progesterone not playing nice. This is a pattern where it could be PCOS. This is a pattern symptom similar to blood sugar balancing problems. So that's what will help, really helps guide some of these supplement choices. Now, I have an osteoporosis question, if someone can pull that up. And I wanted to talk about, it was a really good question about osteopenia. And yeah, Allison had a question. I'm 54 with osteopenia. What can I do? I don't want to take Fosamax or hormones. Well, Fosamax or hormones aren't even the best solution for osteopenia. So I'm going to ask, if you don't know what osteopenia is your bones are thinning. And osteoporosis is where there actually are holes all over. Okay. So osteoporosis is more severe than osteopenia, but it's on a pendulum. And a lot of times doctors think that one of the main causes and only cause a lot of people think that is causing us thinning of the bones, they think is lack of estrogen. Some people think it's a hormone estrogen issue. And sometimes some doctors will be putting patients on estrogen to deal with thin bones, or they get put on the first line medication is Fosamax, which is read the side effect profile on Fosamax. And yes, most people experience them. And talk about wreaking havoc on the real cause of osteopenia. So the number one cause of osteopenia, I would love to know in the comment section if anyone knows what is, that's worked with me, what is an underlying real cause of osteopenia or osteoporosis, right? And that's number one, digestion. Digestion. Okay. And think about this for a second. So if you think about, and the product I am going to talk about is going to be OsteoCore, which is our calcium with magnesium and zinc. Okay. But that being said, it's not important to talk about product if you don't talk about the digestion problem. Okay. The reason most people don't develop strong bones is because they're not absorbing their calcium. And it's not because of hormones. It's because there's some critical steps in digestion where calcium needs stomach acid to absorb. Calcium, magnesium, zinc, like B12 vitamins must have adequate amount of stomach acid to absorb. That's just one of the steps. So the problem is not even a hormone problem, is years and decades of digestion problems no one has recognized. This is why when I talk about the core bundle being here, digested is star front in the center, one with small meals, two with big meals. And here's the thing. If you are going to take your calcium, magnesium, zinc, boron, like there's so many minerals that are not being absorbed because of these digestive problems. But yet, most of the calcium on the market are formulated so that they don't absorb. I have people who tell me whole pills of calcium comes out of their poop. And that's because the product sucks. One. But the second problem is that your digestion sucks. So really importantly, take an incredibly good multi-mineral support formula like OsteoCore that has it all and the most absorbable form of calcium for people with digestive problems. That's you. And take it with Digested. Please, please, please take it with Digested. So absolutely, if you have osteopenia, osteoporosis, I would take about 3 of the OsteoCore. And just when you look at those ingredients in there, like I hope your heart goes into my heart when I see those ingredients is like big heart, every single thing that's needed, but they got to be absorbed and they got to be in a form that's absorbable. They're in a form that's absorbable, but help OsteoCore out with the Digested. Okay. Was that super helpful? Wow, how long have I been going? I've been going for 47 minutes. Wow. Okay, that was a lot of questions. Did I miss any questions? I just want to make sure. Let's take a look. Did I miss any questions? I don't think I did. Okay. All right, everybody. So I could go on. And if that was, if you felt like there was, if you love this and you like this style, I am going through truly like I'm rapid fire. Here's the problem, here's the solution, and here's education around supplementation or lifestyle or diagnostics. So if that was helpful, can you type in chat one thing that you learned today that was new? And Joanne is here talking about how suffering from depression. If you have depression, I'm just going to throw a bonus in. Okay. Anybody with depression. Okay. Really importantly. Okay. I think that from a hormonal standpoint, take Love Me 2 every single day. That's going to help 90% of hormone problems. You don't have to know what pattern you are. Just take Love Me 2 a day. Take the Mood Boost 2 at night. Okay. Really importantly. And then that Boost Me 2 in the morning with the B complex in it, that's really going to be critical to actually help make all those brain hormones. So that's my 1, 2, 3 punch for depression. Boost Me 2 in the morning. Love Me 2 anytime. And then number 3, the Mood Boost 2 at night. Okay. I hope that was helpful. I decided to throw that in. Thank you for that last minute question. And then Diane. Yeah, right. Diane said, I'm 64 and my bone density test was not good. Right. So Diane, please, please, please start the Digested right away. 1 with small meals, 2 with big meals. And the OsteoCore, which is the calcium mineral blend, the super blend for bones. Take 3 of the OsteoCore a day along with Digested. Take it with Digested in a meal. That's going to cause it to absorb like crazy. And don't forget collagen, Pro Collagen WB for all the osteoporosis, osteopenia. Collagen builds bone. Okay. and people are taking estrogen and Fosamax. Take collagen. 1 scoop of collagen in a whey, and oh, holy heck, watch that bone density improve. And here's the thing, collagen is so easily digested and so absorbable, and you can drink it. Okay, so that's a win-win right there. All right, Renee had a comment right here. Renee, thank you. Adapt Me could be a game changer for lots of people. Yeah, reminder, Adapt Me 2 at night really helps that adrenal cortisol calm down like it should at night. Really good for that trouble falling asleep, staying asleep, or the monkey brain. Okay, I hope that was really helpful. Oh, I was going to go back to the teenagers second. I forgot to mention one thing. For the teenagers with the heavy irregular periods, I would do Love Me with Pro Ease. The Pro Ease is like the second punch here. So Love Me helps the estrogen progesterone balance, helps you make a little more progesterone. But the star ingredient in Love Me in that is the chaste tree berry or Vitex. So Pro Ease is our single ingredient product of that Vitex and chaste tree blend. And it really helps people with low progesterone make more progesterone. So we have these single ingredient formulas as well. So if someone says, I can't tolerate Love Me because of one of the ingredients, Pro Ease is a really great substitute for the Love Me. That's a single ingredient. If someone says, I can't take Defender, well, we have another formula called Demtastic. That's a single ingredient product that helps break down hormones. So there's so many options and choices. We have combination formulas. We also have single ingredient products for people that I deal with where they have a sensitivity to something. So it just goes to the variety of choices and solutions that I have when I'm working with people and I'm working live with them so that they can tell me, oh, I have issues with this or that, or I can't swallow a capsule. There's so many different ways with which we get to play. So I love playing with supplements and educating people about supplements and giving real solutions and results. Okay, everybody. Mary, you had a question about hypothyroidism and Hashimoto's. I'm going to recommend everybody who maybe let me ask a question. No, I've done so many lives around thyroid. So anybody who wants to learn more about Hashimoto's, supplementation for thyroid goiters, nodules, or cysts, go and search that on YouTube. I literally have about 20, 30 videos on that, and they're good. But I already went over the 3-punch supplements for Hashimoto's, and that would be the Thyroid Protect, Selenium Pro, and the Pro Vitamin A that's in the shop. Okay. And I went over doses early on as well and how to do that. There you go, everybody. That is a wrap, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that. And if you did, I want you to keep commenting and giving me questions. I am going to, over the next 24 hours, read every single question or comment that you have. And if I can, I will try to answer them. So please blow me up on the comment section. We do read every single comment. And if you need help working with us on your hormones, autoimmune, POTS, any of those issues, you want to work with me and us on that, our team work with you. In the chat, our team can hook you up and you can chat with a member of our team around that. We also have a 360-degree assessment that we do where, if you're thinking about working with us, one of the things that's really important for us is to learn more about you. So we get to do a full assessment and ask questions they can't, they won't, and they never have. That's an assessment where and we'll put a link in chat for you to do that, where you will be able to go through the assessment and we do a full one-on-one evaluation to help you figure out what the real problem is and what's causing it, and if there are solutions with working with us together. So that's called a 360 assessment that we do. So if you're interested in that, put 360 in chat and our team will hook you up with that. So otherwise, if you are enjoying the supplement like rapid fire, put more rapid fire in chat and tell me what you want a more rapid fire on. I know Mary and other people are talking about thyroid, but I have done those already. So look for those on YouTube. But if you're interested in supplementation around, let's say pain, for example, or autoimmunity or something, whatever it is, type it in chat. I'm going to take those into consideration because next week I'm thinking about if there's enough of you that want a rapid fire, another rapid fire supplement training session. So I would love to do that. And I'm going to be reading every comment. So blow me up in chat. That was a lot of fun. Thanks, everyone.